morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders from across the globe, and welcome to the 1273rd edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar, and that, of course, would be me. Good evening, traders. Oscar Carboni coming to you in a very early, very quick video. I wanted to get this information out to you on Sunday night for trading Sunday through Monday, January 26, 2015. Remember, futures trading is extremely risky, can cause substantial financial loss, is not suitable for all traders, is extremely risky these days. And remember, this is only my opinion, but my technical opinion is better than anyone's on the street. I assure you of that. I'll put my work against anybody. So here we are. Traders, you're looking at the emini S&P daily bar chart, and here's what I wanted to show you. First of all, let's talk about a couple of things very quickly. One, Greece, big deal. Who cares? What does Greece have to do with the rest of the world? It is not going to change the path of our market here, and it's not going to change the path of the European market. So we're not going to get Greek olives, and we're not going to get Greek yogurt. Big deal. Let's move forward. I don't think that stops the markets. You've got European QE. Since when does helping out an entire continent economically become something bad? Forget that. And then you've got really cheap crude. The three of them amounted to this. Don't ask me why, because I spent the entire weekend expecting the downside. But what we came up with was a green OMNI. Imagine this. It was green. I spent literally an entire weekend preparing for a red OMNI. Every one of my thoughts as I read the newspapers and did my fundamental news and everything else that I do to prepare, and all the analysis I did before doing OMNI analysis, I thought the market was going to go down. And then I do my OMNI analysis, and it's pointing up and tells me to buy the dips. So here is what I want to tell you. I never, ever, ever fade the OMNI. If OMNI says up, we buy the dips. That is that. OMNI, the market opened up. OMNI told my OMNIX to buy the dips right here into these lows, and so far the market rallied. But here's why I wanted to show you this chart. Follow me on this chart. Let's go backwards. Let's go forward. Let's go back. Let's go forward. There are no gaps on the S&P chart. The S&P chart does not have gaps generally on the 24-hour chart. An extreme rare occasion that we've had gaps, and I remember an up gap only once somewhere about here, and it was filled very quickly. But it's an extremely rare occasion to get a gap in the S&P. A rare occasion. Look at this chart. No matter how far I go back, there are no gaps. So let me explain. If there are no visible, sorry about that. If there are no visible gaps that we can see, this one has to at least get filled before we go lower, so a buy of the dip will work until you fill the gap. But OMNI's still bullish, so I'm going to just expect it to move higher until something else happens. However, we bought right about here. If it fills the gap, the likelihood is a trader like me will get everybody out when it fills the gap, and we'll go from there. We'll see. But if you ask me, the indices are still in buy the dip mode. You have not even seen any bit of the crude oil, the cheap crude oil that is going to come into our markets and propel them much higher. You have, let me repeat, you have absolutely unequivocally not seen the effects of crude yet. Cheap crude is going to help. Cheap crude oil is not present yet. The cheap crude oil, the effects of cheap crude oil, I should say, are not present yet. They are coming, traders. You cannot give people in this country hundreds and hundreds of extra dollars per month without them going nuts with it. That's what Americans do. We will buy anything that you sell us. We will buy from one another. We will throw it in the garbage and go buy something else the next day once we use it up. We are Americans. Cheap crude will help. We are a consumer-driven nation. Since when? I want to ask you a question. Since when would a market that doesn't get inflation while it goes higher hurt a consumer-driven nation that has its own natural resources? How on earth Could we have any trouble with deflation if we are a country with our own natural resources, can control the destiny of our own price of crude, and we buy and sell from one another? How could cheap prices hurt us? I am telling you now, maybe we come off a little because of the sucking sound I mentioned in my last video. We've got to give some money over to Europe to help them out. But overall, I don't think the market is topped yet. We shall see. Here's your S&P. Omni instructed us to buy S&P and NASDAQ, basically on the lows of this evening, Sunday evening so far, and we're looking for higher. But I think there's an easier play this evening, if you ask me. I think the money can be had, or the points, I should say. It's never about money. I think there are points to be made here in the soybeans. This is what, well, it's an Oscarism, better known as the F flag. And the F flag is a bearish formation when it's in this formation. And it looks like a much easier play today than anything the indices are going to offer us. So take a look at your March soybeans. See what you think about it going down. Come to livewithoscar.com where I can help you trade the grains and help you trade the indices. It's going to be volatile on Monday. Make sure you come to my site and hang out with me. Come to livewithoscar.com. Come into my free trading room and I will help you get through this day, like I'll help you, or I have helped you get through all these other days, and I'll help you get through all the days in the future. You come on down to livewithoscar.com. Traders, I hope these videos are helping to keep you in tune with where markets are going next. By the way, we've already got stops just about break even, so we cannot lose on this trade today. We should be all right. And remember that you've got a very nice looking F flag, the Oscarism of the F flag, building below OTAPMA, the Omni Trading Academy's proprietary moving average, in soybeans. Look at that for yourselves. It might be a much easier play than this animal for trading on Monday. Traders, come to livewithoscar.com. Remember, keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things I can do to tell you to help yourselves with that is say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and you know what that is. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Traders, thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you at livewithoscar.com.